Hey guys, so this is gonna be the 2020 puzzle review that I have been waiting for and waiting to do. I completed 24 this year alone since April. So I started in mid-April and it is now December. So yeah, 24 I finished. We are gonna start today with the first puzzle I completed in April. So this is by the brand Schmid. Sometimes I look back and I'm like, why did you do that one? It was really hard, to be honest. This, I would say, was the hardest section of the puzzle by far. I do remember really struggling with that, as well as just in general, like these blue-purple areas were really hard to differentiate between. I really enjoyed this. Of course, if I didn't, I probably wouldn't have kept going. I didn't purchase this one. This happened to be sitting in my boyfriend's family's house, waiting to be done. I do remember not being able to move the puzzle pieces, like completed parts, too seamlessly to, you know, the finished other finished sections, but it wasn't too much of a hinder. I'm gonna give this a 6.5, well, maybe like a 7. Okay, next. So once I was hooked on that, I immediately went online and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to do a puzzle that I actually am connected to, like I like the picture and whatnot. And I stupidly chose this one. Why did I do this? I don't know. This was like $40, and for the amount of pieces you get, oh, I'm looking at the wrong side. The amount of pieces that you get, which is 350 pieces plus 17 of the actual buildings that you put on, it really didn't take me long. I think I finished this in an hour. The pieces are like a styrofoam material almost, and then the buildings themselves are like plastic. It was really fun and I would do it again, but probably with like another Game of Thrones fan, just so we can kind of like watch the map come together. But really it was not challenging at all, and that's what I'm looking for in puzzles. So
I had an absolute brain fart here, and what I'm trying to say is that I'm giving this puzzle a rating of 5 out of 10.
just because, yeah, there was pretty much no challenge with this, but it was really fun. Once I learned that lesson, I was like, okay, you gotta go back to 1,000 pieces, and I immediately went to one of my biggest passions, tea. So I got a tea-themed puzzle. This was the next one I did. This, I believe I started in May, and it's by Cobble Hill. This was also extremely easy, just because if you guys can see, there's a lot of like letter detailing, which made it really easy to sort through the pieces because, first of all, they've got like their own distinct color and font, so it just made it so easy to find each of the sections and then eventually put them all together. I'm gonna give this like a 5 just because, similarly to the Game of Thrones one, it wasn't very hard. It was really easy. I finished this in like 2 sittings, so yeah. Overall, yeah, 5. Cobble Hill definitely needs to work on their tightness of their fits. It's hard to move Cobble Hill pieces from your working area to the actual finished puzzle. But what's great about Cobble Hill is they have the poster included always with their puzzles, so that has always been way easier than following the box. Posters are way better. Okay, next I got the Ravensburger dog collage puzzle. Regret. The picture itself, now that I'm looking at it, it's just, you know, there's nothing really happening. Like, yes, there's a shitload of dogs, and yes, I love dogs, but it's just, you know, it doesn't excite me. Like, they're cute and all, but it was, I didn't have fun doing this. Just overall, I definitely wouldn't do this again, and I definitely wouldn't frame it, so it's not very high up in my books. What I do like about Ravensburger, though, is that their puzzle pieces are very matte, so that definitely adds a point, and they have pretty good staying power. So I'm gonna give this one a 4. We've got our first Eurographics, which I came to learn that I don't really like, so Eurographics is very shiny in my opinion, which is really annoying. The globe part was actually the easiest because of all the lines, and it's very easy to like connect all the lines together. This red part for sure was what I started with because it's like a really great like foundation. You start from the middle, this section, and then you can work outwards in the globe. The overall border was definitely the hardest part. The shininess of their pieces is just not acceptable. I'm gonna give this like a 3. So the first half of this year is not starting off very strong because I didn't know my puzzle taste. I purchased this originally because I love this painting, and I knew it was gonna be a challenge. I was like, okay, this is gonna be like pretty insane. It was. This little vomit area, yeah, this part nearly broke me. I had to resort to process of elimination, which drives me insane, like the point where I have to literally try every piece to see if it works. That's not fun anymore. And also on top of that, it's Eurographics again, so not very good quality. The pieces kind of fall apart if you're trying to move them from one section to another. I would probably give this a 4. So after 2 kind of meh puzzles, we've got Mr. Bob Ross. I received this as a birthday gift, so thank you so much, Andrea and Patrick. As they already know, I very much enjoyed this puzzle. It was very crisp, the pieces fit together very well, and overall it's actually like a really stunning piece of work. The trees on both sides were very hard because of course you're trying to differentiate between the 2 sides. Overall, like the color payoff and how it was printed just looks gorgeous. You can see all the details that Bob Ross has in his painting. It's here, it's all clear, so definitely I very much enjoyed this one and I would do it again. So we've got another Cobble Hill. I really enjoyed this. This is a whole bunch of hot sauce on a shelf. I love hot sauce, so that's why I had to get this. I've recognized some of them from Hot Ones and just some of my local restaurants I've seen have some of these bottles, so that was cool. This was very easy. I flew through this one as well, very similarly to TeaTime. Just in general, I would 100% do this again. I may even frame this because my boyfriend also really likes hot sauce, so it would be fun to look at in the apartment. We've got the poster again. I actually feel like these pieces are a little bit better than the TeaTime ones were, and they're quite matte as well, so I like that. I appreciate that. So Cobble Hill, I'm gonna give you a 7 again because the quality could be better, but overall the image and the actual color payoff is great. So still hadn't learned my lesson. We are back to Eurographics again from the Fine Art collection, and I did end up getting more of these because I hadn't realized what good quality was until later this year. I could see myself framing this, but I don't know how much Andrew would like this art. I did very much enjoy this one compared to my other 2 Eurographics. This is actually the puzzle that helped me learn that I really like bold color puzzles, as you'll see in the rest of my collection. I would say the hardest part was like this little triangle area going on over here, but everything else was pretty distinct lines and colors. Once again, I'd probably give this like a 6.5 or a 7. What the hell was I thinking? Now that I look back and I compare it to other puzzles that I've got, this just is so forgettable, so random. I enjoyed the feeling of finishing this, but not actually doing it, just because I ended up not really liking the artwork after all, after I bought it. This, oh god, I remember this suit jacket being just awful. And then of course this light area was just ridiculously big and takes up way too much of the piece. I want to burn this right now just looking at it. It just angers me so much. Like, why did I buy this one? So I would give this like a 1. Plus it's Eurographics as well, so of course it's not the best quality. Oh god, like just feeling these pieces again, like they just don't feel very sturdy. No. If anybody wants to take this, ugh. I decided to try a new brand. So this was my first Pomegranate puzzle. What I really like about Pomegranate is their pieces are really matte and it comes in a resealable bag, so that's great. I wish Pomegranate included a poster as well. Overall, their staying power between pieces isn't too bad. I remember when I first did this puzzle, I was so impressed with it because, you know, before then I had only done Ravensburger and Eurographics. This one I did in July, and this one was the best quality so far of the year at that point. So this is another 7 for sure. So in August, I kind of took a break from puzzles. I was finally outside and, you know, being social again. Then come late August, I got into this one. So this one is definitely one of my favorites, and the quality on this one is amazing as well. I just really appreciate the fact that it came with a poster. It comes with a poster, and it also comes with little like fact sheet for, you know, the astrological sun signs. And in general, the staying power is great, and a lot of different like colors going on here. It was just really satisfying to do. I would definitely give this like a 9.5. I would frame this. I think it's just absolutely gorgeous. Amazing. Definitely recommend. Still purchase these Eurographics ones, another fine art collection. I started off with what I call the easy part, the column here, because you're kind of able to follow this little zigzaggy pattern within the pieces, and then of course like this kind of like red is pretty distinct as well. And then I went into the floor area, more of that red geometric looking thing, and then the little arc over here. And then I was kind of stuck for a while, for like 6 sessions. I was, oh god, it was pretty bad, like going through all of these people. That was really hard. Comparing this one to other Eurographics ones, it's definitely not as bad. It is still a little bit shiny, but it's not that bad. I'd give this like a 6. And my god, please stop with the fine art puzzles, Victoria, from Eurographics. This is the last one, I promise, because after this I kind of realized, okay, maybe you don't like this theme too much. Of course, I do really like this painting. This one was really hard, pretty much the same level as the one I just showed you, the Raphael painting. I think I remember the quality of this one being slightly better. So there's a lot of staying power in this one. Here we go. I would definitely frame this one though. Like, this one's a lot more eye-catching than the School of Athens. I thought this was Cobble Hill for a second. It's not. They both have the green boxes, but this is Edgica. This one was harder than the hot sauce one for sure, because the hot sauce one had more of like those shelves like in between each row. There are no shelves at all. They're kind of just overlapped over top of each other, and a lot of the labels are really similar. So like there's this red and white, and then this like the green bottles were also really hard to differentiate between. But all in all, I really enjoyed doing this one because there's so much detail in all of the pieces. Yeah, the color payoff is great, and obviously getting to see all these different beers from around the world was really interesting. So I would give this one a 7 as well. I'm so sorry, so many 7s. Okay, so this one is another really good one in my books, Ibu. The quality on this one was amazing. It comes with a poster. Hello, bonus. Yes, this one has a lot of great staying power, and the color payoff on this is just incredible. The hardest part for sure was this little fence area, like between the two of them. That was kind of weird to differentiate between, but honestly, like, that was the only part that I struggled with. Definitely give this like an 8.5. I wish it was harder. Like, I actually wish it was harder because I went through it so fast. I gotta look into if Ibu makes like 2,000 pieces, because if they do, then that would be like more of a challenge, but it's still the same art style, so it's like very like colorful and distinct. So I really like that. So this next one is literally like, it's iconic. 100% like one of my absolute favorites this year. This one was just incredible in every way. First of all, it comes with a poster, very important. Secondly, the color payoff is amazing. And then third, like, it was so much fun to do. I will be framing this for sure. Like, it's so interesting to look at as well. The fact that I can pick all of this up, guys. This one I would definitely rate a 10. Very, very happy with it. Was worth all the money. That one was a little bit more expensive than the usual puzzle. Like, for example, Cobble Hill is about 20 bucks Canadian. This one was 40. So double, but you know, you get way better quality and a very interesting piece of art. The Now House Jonathan Adler was so good, and then I completely belly flopped and did this one. Why did I buy this? I think I was very excited to do like this sunset looking part, but the longer you look at it, the more it looks just like vomit. Oh my god, I'm so sorry to the person that painted this. Honestly, I don't want to look at this any longer. I really don't like this puzzle at all. I'm gonna give this like a 2. Okay, next one we have got the Simpsons collage, like a whole character collage. This is done by the OP Puzzles. Never heard of this brand before, but I was so interested in doing this one because I knew it was going to be a challenge. Also really fun because, you know, you get to see all the different characters from the show. I really, really enjoyed this one, and I believe the quality wasn't too bad. Yeah, the staying power is great, and the pieces are pretty thick, so I very much enjoyed this one. I would give this one an 8.5. Okay, so this one's another one I really enjoyed. I absolutely love this one. This is the first 1500 I've done. I'm a little scared to do another 1500. This one was very enjoyable, especially like these couple orbs right here. I very much enjoyed the ones that had like the distinct lines going out compared to these ones that are more of like a gradient out. The staying power is pretty good for Ravensburger as well, and the pieces are quite thick, and these are like semi-matte, so I very much enjoyed this puzzle. I would give this a 9.5. I look at this and I'm like, oh, good times. Okay, so I purchased this one because I had such a great experience with the first Pomegranate puzzle that I did. This one wasn't as good though. Like, staying power wise, the pieces would fall apart if I tried to, you know, move them from one section to another. It's a very vibrant puzzle, but just all in all, it was frustrating to deal with because you could not move the pieces without them falling apart. The image itself is, you know, it's interesting, but the longer I did it, the more frustrated I got. I was just like, ugh, I want this to be done with. So I'm gonna give this like a 5. Okay, next one. I got this Charlie and the Chocolate Factory themed one. In general, this was a pretty decent quality puzzle. I enjoyed it for the most part, but after a while I just kind of got bored of the image. I think you'd really like this if you're a really big fan of the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. The original one, by the way, not the Johnny Depp one. This one comes with a poster, like I believe this is just slightly smaller, like 10% smaller than the actual puzzle size. So you get the entire poster, and then you also get a really cool reference. I started off with the chocolate river and the chocolate fountain, and then I kind of worked my way around it. The grass area for sure was the hardest section. It was a very matte puzzle, like barely any shininess. The staying power between the pieces could be slightly better, but overall, like, good quality. I'm gonna give this a 7 as well. There's my Noli girl. Actually, so the brand is called New York Puzzle Company. This was my first ever New York puzzle, and dear God, it is not my last. This is definitely the best puzzle I did all year. The staying power between these pieces is insane. Like, you cannot move these. In a good way. Once finished, I was able to pick this completely up, and that's when you know it is an amazing quality puzzle. I am definitely buying from this brand again. The art on this is just, oh my god, like, so different, so unique. Andrew really wants this framed, like, he loves the art on this as well. This is a very memorable piece for me, and I loved it. The last puzzle I did in the year is this one. So there was a funny story behind this one. I didn't just randomly choose it. Because January 2020, I actually went on a work retreat with my boyfriend, and it was taking place at a winter resort in Muskoka, Ontario. While he was in kind of like the work retreat training during the day, the +1s were allowed to do anything they wanted on the resort. So instead of going to the spa 3 times in a week, I found a puzzle in one of the common rooms, and it was this one. I never ended up finishing it because, of course, I didn't have enough time. I pretty much laid out all the pieces, and I just worked from there. Like, I didn't do any sorting at all, and it was very frustrating, and I left the resort not finishing it, and I was really upset. So I ended up finishing it. I had to buy it, and I made sure that it was the first and the last puzzle that I did this year. I started off with the yellow and the blue, greens, pinks, like the very distinct ones, and then I branched out from there. Definitely the harder ones were the floral ones, all that white space. I'm definitely happy that I finished it. I hate leaving things unfinished. So that was everything, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I very much enjoyed this year of puzzles. I'm planning to do more puzzle reviews. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you have done any of these puzzles or you're going to do any of them. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.